Hey guys, we're going to be doing the bent over rolls for your back. So the primary muscle group that's going to be worked with this exercise and is going to be your middle back, lower back, and I'm going to have Dan turn around so I can actually point out the muscle groups. Let's turn around, Dan. Alright. So this exercise is going to work on the lower back, it's going to work on the middle back, and it's actually going to work on also the lats area. And it's going to actually make the lats thicker. So that's going to be the primary muscle groups. Let's turn back around, Dan. And your secondary muscle groups is going to work on your forearms, it's going to work on your biceps, it's going to work on your quads, your glutes or your butt, and also your hamstrings. So that's what makes this exercise such a good exercise, because besides work on your back and hitting some of the other muscle groups, it's one of those exercises that really allows your whole body to work, and it produces that high afterburn effect, which is going to go ahead and really build up that metabolism. Okay, so let's get started. So you notice that the feet placement, you want to stand kind of close, and the reason why is because you want to go ahead and really make your back do most of the work. If you stand with a wide stance, it's going to go ahead and take a lot of stress off your back. Dan's going to grab it with a neutral grip, which is the width of his shoulders. And you'll notice that his knees are bent just a little bit, and his chest is out. And also, let's go ahead and really get a good view here of Dan's back right here. So you'll notice that his back has a slight curve in it, just a little bit, so you want to make it with a slight curve, and as he's pulling up you can see the back contracting. So when he's pulling up the weight, one thing to notice is, let's see if we can go ahead and get a view of what it looks like underneath. So let's come around here. So if we get down here and we really look at to see where the bar is going, you'll notice that the bar is really close to Dan's thighs. And when he pulls it up, he's going to pull it right to the middle of his stomach. So this way he can really contract the chest, contract the back. His elbows are at a 45 degrees and it's not spread out too high or too out. So this is the neutral position in a perfect form for doing bent over rolls. Okay, that's good, Dan. Alright, and this is a very tough exercise, so this is why we showed it by doing no weight, so you can really make sure that we're showing the correct form. Some of the common mistakes that people do with this exercise, and we'll start from the top. First thing you want to look at is, when you grab the bar, you want to make sure you start off by grabbing the bar off the ground with correct form. If you don't, you're going to actually hurt your back. So a common mistake would be like this. If you notice that when I grab the bar, I'm going to round my back like this. And that's actually going to go ahead and hurt my spine. And you'll see a lot of guys do this. Notice how my spine is curved, and then I start off here. So if you do that, you've actually already injured your back. So what you want to do is you want to start with your feet placement about a foot from each other. Keep your chest out. When you come down, you notice how my chest is still out and my back has a slight arch. I'm going to grab the bar as if I was going to go ahead and start doing it already. Take it off the ground all the way to the top. So now I have it here. I lay it on my thigh, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it down until the bar is to the middle of my shins. And you notice how I actually have it glide down my thigh. A lot of times you'll see that the bar is too far, and what somebody will do is go like this. And what that does is it actually puts too much stress on the lower back and not enough stress on the entire back, or the middle back and the lats. So hold the bar against your thigh, rub it down until you get to the middle of your shins, look forward, chest out, shoulders back. You don't want your shoulders to go like this, okay? Shoulders back, chest out, and you want to lean forward just enough so the bar can come straight up to the middle of your stomach. And make sure that your elbows are at a 45 degrees. You don't want to go like this. Okay, this is another common mistake. Okay, what that does, it just works on your back of your shoulders, and it doesn't use a lot of your back, and it's easy for injuries. Anything you want to go ahead and add in on this bent over roll?
Yeah, I noticed like when I was doing this, when I was first learning this form, it's actually like pretty difficult just to get into the position.
Right.
Do you ever recommend that guys just like spend a little while just like learning the starting position before even doing it?
Definitely. This is one of those exercises to where if it's new for you, you definitely want to go ahead and start off with probably no weight at all, or with a very light bar. You can even start off with one of the curved bars for biceps, maybe like a 20-pound. Very important to get this exercise right and have perfect form, because you're bound to get injured if you don't.
One other thing I was wondering about is it can be kind of difficult to get the to like lean forward without going onto your toes.
Right.
Do you have any tips for doing that for guys to like keep the weight on the heels but still like lean forward?
When you're doing this, the pressure has to be at your heel, and it's actually a little difficult to get it to where your body can lean forward enough and you have room to actually pull up. So what a lot of new guys will start off doing is they'll get into this position, and instead of being like this, they're going to sit back too much. And I'm kind of doing it to more of extreme to really show what people will do. And they'll go like this, and then when it comes to pulling it up, they can't pull it up because their knees are in the way. So what you can do for new guys that are learning this exercise is you can start off with your back a little bit like this, and when you pull, you'll actually pull back and you'll extend the bar forward. And so you're kind of going like this. Notice how the bar is going forward and back instead of straight up and down. So that's kind of a way for guys to start off in the beginning to really develop those right muscle groups to kind of do the right form. It's a lot easier doing it that way, so this way you can actually still do the exercise but making it as easy as possible.
And actually, one final thing. Another detail you showed me was having the knees aligned. And I noticed, like, even with like a few of these, like I felt right in the knees, just having them like a little bit like that. How can guys tell if their knees are like in the proper position?
One thing you can do is when you look at your knees need to be always facing forward, and they need to have the same distance as your toes. So if you look at my toes and my knees, they're actually the same distance. A lot of times you'll see something like this, where someone's knees are pointing outwards and their placement's a little close. So this is actually due to imbalances in your thighs. A lot of times you'll see guys stand with their feet like this. And that has to do with, again, just imbalances. So in the beginning, if you do stand like this, then you want to start standing correct and start standing forward. And you want to just kind of force your legs to point forward. And soon enough, after a little while of doing that, your muscles will develop to where they're naturally point forward without you having to force it.
Oh, great.
Okay, so that is it for the bent over roll.